Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I am back with another video here. Today a little bit of a different setup. I have a newer camera. I've had this camera for a while, I just never really used it for recording. And also this is a little bit of a different video. If you're new to the channel and you're new clicking on this video, I am not necessarily somebody that does NHL content all the time. I'm more of a Flyers YouTuber, cover every single game, and also do a live show on Fridays from 1 to 2 o'clock. If you're a returning subscriber, hope you're doing well. Hope the summer is holding up for you. And again, this is a little bit of a different thing that I want to do. I've talked about it before, using NHL, and I want to use it as a tool. I want to use it as something that I can use as content, and use it as something also to be able to build something with this, and to be able to use it in a different way. I'm not really going to be playing the game, but I do play the game in my free time. I'm on PlayStation, Xbox, both. I play it. I've played every NHL since NHL 12. There's been a lot of different things, and one thing that when thinking about doing is 5 things, doing a video on 5 things that I think should be in NHL 23. And I have a list here. I have a good amount of things. And I feel like a lot of these things people will agree with. Maybe not, but I feel like a lot of these people have kind of been people that play the game, people that know what I'm talking about. It seems like that there's been a lot of buzz around what can they essentially add to NHL 23. And these are a couple of things. So starting off, I put out a tweet the other day about NHL moments. And NHL moments was last in NHL 15. You could play certain moments from a previous season to essentially recreate history. So it was like it could be a big goal, an overtime winner in the playoffs, a Stanley Cup clinching goal, a shutout in a certain game, a big save here and there, whatever, right? And you could recreate that in a certain moment in NHL, and for example, you could play as Claude Giroux in Game 6 in 2012 against Pittsburgh and score the opening goal, and then lead the Flyers to win Game 6 and win the series. And obviously that's just an example, but I think you get my point, right? So this was an offline mode. You could either play Rookie, Pro, All-Star, Superstar. Obviously, now it's a little bit different. You have Semi-Pro in there, things like that. So I feel like this could be an offline mode, but I think there's a couple things that I would do, right? I would make this to where you could go back and play any season. You could go and you can play any season, from this, I guess you could say probably, I feel like the most recent, right? I think you could probably go like 2016 and on, and you can add moments from each season, and then maybe each update add a different year here and there. And then as the season goes on, for the new season, the season that we'll be playing, the 2022-23 season when NHL 23 comes out, that's when I would add, the updated, moments from that season. So when the roster update comes out, that's when I would add those new updates. So like, for example, last year when McDavid scored that goal against the Rangers, it would have been cool if there was an update, here, try to recreate the McDavid goal. Not necessarily saying dangle through 4 guys, but you get my point, right? So I think there are different things there, and that is something that I would like to see in the new game. As for the second thing, it is another offline mode type game, Winter Classic mode. Winter Classic mode was added in the demo of NHL 11, and then it was put into NHL 12, and then outside of that, it wasn't really in many other any other games. You could play the actual Winter Classic, Penguins versus Capitals at Heinz Field from 2011, or any random teams in the league, but it would be in Heinz Field. So that was what it was in NHL 12. That was essentially like the last game. It wasn't 13, but I think outside of that, it was taken out. This is from and I actually did some digging. This quote here from an EA community manager in 2020. On like I guess it was on like EA's like website. They had like a question and answer type thing, and he said, "I'd love to see the Winter Classic return. It's always possible. A lot of work went into that mode, and it didn't really get played that much. It would be fantastic to have, though, especially in franchise mode. For the life of me, I can't recall having a pond in a previous NHL game. I believe there was a pond in NHL Hits, though. Maybe even Rock the Rink. Wow, that's an old one." So obviously, there hasn't been much, with the NHL, and as for the Winter Classic, that hasn't really been talked about. But it seems like, adding that back into the game would be really cool. I personally would love it, especially franchise mode. I think that would add kind of a little boost to franchise mode. But again, I feel like overall, the Winter Classic mode has always been something fun, and it's not like EA isn't used to doing the outdoor ranks and having that whole thing, because they have that in the EA SHL with the drop-ins. So I think you'd be able to do this and kind of add that in there. But overall, I feel like that this would be a good thing to bring back into NHL 23. The third thing here is the retro and the throwback teams. Now, this has been something that I have been craving for years, probably since, I don't know, maybe NHL 16 or so. I've been saying it. I feel like it's been used in NBA 2K. It's been in Madden 22 with the Campus Legends. You can use throwback college teams. EA's done it before, but could you imagine playing with like the 1997 Red Wings, 2012 Kings, 2019 Blues, 2007 Anaheim Ducks, like going back and playing with all these different teams? Like, EA obviously is not shy of doing alumni, and all 32 teams, essentially, well, actually 31, have an alumni pretty much. And it's not like they have the legends in the game. Like, they've done this for a while now. I feel like you should be able to add some throwback teams into there, because when you go on NBA 2K, you can literally go and play as, say like the 2001 Philadelphia 76ers, things like that, right? So it would be really cool if they did this. I'd love to go back and play with some older Flyers teams and just teams in general in the league. I think that would add a lot of spice just to online play, and also offline as well. The next thing here is the first-person point-of-view camera angle for Be A Pro, EA SHL, and other game modes that you could use it in. It was in the trailer of NHL 15. It didn't really work out, though. It's in EA. Obviously, they make Battlefield 2022. That is a first-person shooter game. It hasn't really been I guess really used much in a sports game. I'm not too sure how it's kind of made. I'm not really sure how that would work. But as for getting it into NHL, I think it would be really good for EASHL. I think Be A Pro could really use it. I think you honestly could use it for Play Now and online versus if you were to lock your position. Now, I don't know if anybody does that, but one area I'd love to use it is just playing goalie. I mean, playing goaltender, using that first-person point-of-view camera angle, I think would be awesome. Again, I'm not really sure how they would do it, but I think that is something that could be added. And then the last thing here now, obviously I talked about Madden 22 with the Campus Legends and having throwback college teams. I would love to see NCAA and college hockey into NHL 23. It's been something that, they have everything in there. Outside of the KHL, they have pretty much every European league and all that stuff, the AHL, the East Coast League, all that stuff. And they just added the IIHF. With the women's national teams, the men's national teams, and then you can also use them in franchise mode. So it's not like they haven't added anything like this. You could play as the 2021 gold medalist Team USA for the U18 men's this past year. So that was something that you were able to do, and that was one of the teams that I had played with. So you could go and you could play with all these bunch of different things and do different things here in NHL with the IAHF. It would be really cool if they did that with college hockey and being able to go back and play with some really good college teams and even just use the program. Now, obviously, I'd like to think that they probably would have to get the okay from the NCAA to do this, but I will say that is something that I do think that should be in NHL 23, but let me know what you guys think below, because there's been a lot of different stuff, like going back to the college thing too. Like, I've seen people even make custom rosters of college players and teams, so it's not like, people want that, and I feel like it would be really good for the sport as well, because college hockey is a big thing that's grown over the years as well. So again, let me know what you want to see in NHL 23. What are your thoughts on NHL 22? We got a couple months. It seems like around like the beginning of the season again is when NHL 23 is going to be coming out. It looks like October 14th seems to be the date. But let me know what you guys think below. As always, again, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Hope you all are enjoying your summer, and I will talk to you all again soon.